Welcome back to Fantasy Football Today. It's now time for everybody's favorite game, ADP Price is Right. You see the standings here. Dave got his first win last week on the board, but still trailing 1-2-1. Heath has a 2-1-1 advantage, and the overall score, very, very close, 10-9. Heath has the lead. All right, let's get right into it, gentlemen, with the latest round of ADP Price is Right. We're all over the place with different players here, but give you the rules real quick. You got to guess the player's ADP closest to the number without going over wins. That's right. Close your computers. Winner gets to analyze a player. If you both go over, I get to analyze a player. And so far, in the 4 times we have played this, right? 4 times?
Four times.
4 times we played this. It's only happened once. So you guys have done a very good job of getting close to the number without going over. All right, so here we go. Guess the ADP for, Dave, you're up first.
All right, who we got?
Trey Lance.
Oh, I love getting Trey Lance, and I know he's going to be a late-round pick, and I'm going to guess he's around that round 10-11 range. I will say 128.
128
for Trey Lance.
is the guess for Dave Richard.
129.
129.
He's going back to his strategy now.
Is the guess for Heath Cummings. And
Which,
for
by
second
the way, if
time
I had gone with that
Second
strategy,
time, we
in
went
the
over.
history of Guess the ADP and ADP Price is Right, you guys are over just barely. 128.78.
what was my guess?
Well, your guess was 128, correct? I guess I'm wrong.
I won.
You won. That's right. I heard it different.
1-0, baby.
I heard it wrong in my ear. I apologize. So, all right. So, Dave, you got it right. There you go. 128 is the answer. You're right on the money. Maybe he was studying this last night, Heath. Who knows?
No,
All
I
right.
promise you both. I
go.
care about the integrity of ADP Price is Right. I will not tarnish it, and I will not tarnish the good name of Trey Lance. We've seen his potential, and we've seen his downside this preseason, too. He's been off target a little bit, but we know that he can throw the deep ball. He's got some great looks in the pocket, and I think he's got a chance to continue to do well as a passer when he does play. But I think what we're going to see is him as a rusher first and foremost, because there's talk out of San Francisco that Jimmy Garoppolo will start, and Trey Lance will play that Taysom Hill type of role where he'll be a change-up in the offense, and eventually Jimmy Garoppolo will get hurt or he'll stink, and Trey Lance will be the starter, and that's when things are going to get exciting for fantasy managers because he'll put up good numbers in the passing game, but he'll run a lot too. We've seen Fields do his running. We've seen Lance take off one time this preseason. He will do it a lot more once we're in the regular season. I love drafting him in round 11, 12, 13, put him on my bench, wait for him to blow up, and then I've got a stud fantasy quarterback.
Just gave up serve in a big tennis match. It's just going to be scrambling the rest of the game now. It's a tough spot to be in.
I just wonder how many fantasy managers that have a legit number 1 quarterback are going to wait it out with Trey Lance, with Justin Fields, knowing that they're not even starting on their own team early in the season, and then one of those running backs pop up or one of those receivers pop up, and you have to make a decision on your roster. We'll see how fantasy managers play that out with the rookie quarterbacks that are not starting to open the season. All right, next player that we're going to guess the ADP on, Heath, you're up, you're trailing 1-0, is Gus Edwards. Guess the ADP.
Oh, wow. You know, I've done a lot of ADP work this week, and I have not had occasion to recognize Gus Edwards.
How is this fair if he's doing
Gus
ADP
Edwards.
work?
Well, I mean, it's part of our job, Dave. I'm going to
doing my
say
job
that
right
Gus
for years.
Edwards is a round 9 pick, so I will go with pick 97.
97 is the guess on Gus Edwards for Heath. Dave?
I want to make sure that I never do the Heath Cummings trick again, so I'm going to give him a little bit of space. I will say Gus Edwards is going after 100th overall.
After 100th overall, so we'll say 101.
So he gets a little bit of space.
101, a little bit of space. Dave is running away with this one. He's up now 2-0, so the ADP on Gus Edwards, 126.77. And the interesting part of this, Dave, before you get into this, the ADP for J.K. Dobbins is 30.01. This is such a gap that should not be happening. I like J.K. Dobbins, but he should not be going this far ahead of Gus Edwards.
And I like Gus Edwards, but I think there's way more upside for J.K. Dobbins.
Way more?
I think that...
More, I'll give you. Way more?
Philosophical point. The Baltimore Ravens are a good football team that uses their players the right way. There have been examples of that on both sides of the ball for years. They know that J.K. Dobbins is a super talented running back. Gus is talented too. Not going to take that away. And yes, this ADP is low. It's right in the Trey Lance range. I'd rather have Gus Edwards than Trey Lance. But I'm going to talk about Dobbins for a quick second because I think his potential in this offense, which we really didn't see entirely last year, is sky high. And if you're drafting him in round 3, maybe he returns value as a number 2 fantasy running back, and maybe he's just blocked by Gus Edwards and Lamar Jackson all year. But he was taking over short yardage goal line work in the last 7 games of the season. We know that he can handle taking on a passing downs role. We saw it at Ohio State. I think he's got upside that we're not quite thinking about. I agree overall. I think Dobbins is going a little too high, but I still would take him in round 3. And I think Gus Edwards is definitely going at least one round too late.
All right, a very sour Heath Cummings over there. Dave is winning so far 2-0 in ADP prices, right? Dave, you're up next for the win. If you get it, we'll see if Heath has another comeback in store. But here we go. Phillip Lindsey, guess the ADP.
6,000. No, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. I don't think he's going to be very popular. I'm going to say he's going in that round 12 range. I will say 137 for Phillip Lindsey.
Yeah, I was
going. This one.
I was actually like in my head thinking 136. So
wow,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and go 130.
130 is the guess for you. 136.
That's what I said.
That's what he said.
137
is what he
is
said.
the guess, and the reveal
really close
is still in the game.
136.
There you go.
Still in the game.
Okay, fine.
All right, Heath, you're on the board. Tell us the best analysis you
I can't
can
believe I was off by 0.08.
about the Texans running back.
I've been there, Dave. Yes, I don't think anybody should really be excited about drafting any Houston Texans running backs. And so I understand why he's in the round 12 range. But I think Phillip Lindsey's probably the starter. I think week 1 against that Jacksonville defense, if he's getting 15 touches, he should probably be a top 30 running back. And so we're still a little bit of uncertainty about how many touches he'll have in relation to David Johnson and Mark Ingram. And if Johnson takes the catches and Ingram takes the short yardage carries, then there's really not much room for Phillip Lindsey to be prosperous. But I do think in round 12, he has more upside and potential than most of the backs there without an injury.
Very true. And we'll see. Look, it's funny because the David Johnson thing, and Johnson's ADP is around 120. So he's still
draft
going
him there?
ahead. No. But
where would you draft him?
After Lindsey? But I wouldn't. Lindsey's not going to make it this far. As much as we downgrade him, he's still a running back that has a chance for some significant work. People may be panicked about what Mark Ingram did in the last preseason game when he scored, so keep that in mind. But I think the one thing about it that David Johnson's role, which is being clearly pushed to the side, they're going to be trailing in so many games. He still may be their best running back. Nobody wants to take him, and I totally get that. But 2-3 weeks into the season, when they're down 3 touchdowns almost every week, you could see him on the field more than Lindsey, more than Ingram, and you could regret maybe passing on David Johnson as he continues just to fall and fall and fall. So we'll see what happens there with the Texans backfield.
Off by
All right,
0.08.
2-1. Heath, you're up, and we're staying in the same team, the Houston Texans.
Wow.
Brandon Cooks. Yes,
this is your guy.
The ADP.
This is my guy. I have no idea what his CBS ADP is, but I'm going to say that he is a round. I think he should be a round 7 pick. I'm going to say 77.
77 is the guess on Brandon Cooks. Dave, for the win.
I think I got this locked up. I will say 81.
81 is the guess for Dave Richard, and Dave wins again. You guys are both off significantly.
Oh,
wow.
Good. You know what? I'm glad. I'm glad that I'm off.
He's not going that low.
I've been telling people
103.85 is the ADP.
friends don't let friends draft Texans in the first 9 rounds. And this is round 9. So if there is a Texan to be drafted in the first 10 rounds, Heath, I'm sure you'll agree with me. It is Brandon Cooks.
I don't think he's going to agree with anything.
I am very nervous about the quarterback play, the quality of target he'll get. There's been talk about other pass catchers in Houston. There was a preseason game where Chris Conley actually looked good. I'm really just nervous in general. I see Jalen Waddle, Cortland Sutton, Devontae Smith, Michael Thomas, Odell Beckham. Everybody ranked behind him on your screen right now. I would take ahead of Brandon Cooks in fantasy tonight.
Yep, he's very polarizing just because he's going to soak up so many targets. And look, we're obviously factoring in the downgraded quarterback from Deshaun Watson to whoever it may be, Tyrod Taylor or Davis Mills. But he still has the chance to be better than this, where he's going. He can. I mean, I don't want to trust it, but he can. And so that's something just to keep in mind, that he could end up falling to the right spot, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll take this as a third receiver, and he ends up starting for you more times than not. All right, so the game is officially over, but the total score still matters. So right now it's 2-1. You guys are both tied.
By the way, this is how our Scrabble games go. When we play Scrabble online, it's uncanny how close they are. We tie in Scrabble, do we not?
We did tie.
He's upset. This is great.
All right, this could tie the overall record as well. So, Dave, you're down still 12-11 you're up 12-11 now in the overall record.
Okay.
Heath, you got to come back and tie it. Otherwise, Dave has the edge.
And I'm guessing the ADP first here.
You are guessing the ADP first.
All right.
So, here we go. Guess the ADP from Michael Pittman.
This is another one where I think he's probably going to go in that round 9+ range. I'm going to say 104.
104 is the guess.
104 is my guess
Dave.
for Michael Pittman.
Heath, save face.
Yeah, I will. I'll go with 105.
105 is the answer, and you do save face. You get this final one. So you
Was it
still,
111?
It was not 111. It
Okay.
was
Oh, wow.
132.
We were terrible today.
Yo, this is good value. Except Heath wins. He gets to talk about it.
It is very good value, Heath. So talk about not just Michael Pittman, but T.Y. Hilton, and T.Y. Hilton actually going ahead of Michael Pittman, which I think is a little bit of a surprise.
It is a surprise if you look at regular ADP. I actually have Hilton ahead of Pittman, I think, but just by one spot. I've got them back to back. Love taking both of them really a round earlier in this. I'll take either one in round 10 and feel good about it. Round 11 is fine. I think Carson Wentz's skill set may fit T.Y. Hilton a little bit better than Phillip Rivers' skill set did. That scramble around, throw it deep, Hilton will be there. Hopefully we see Hilton's ADOT really balloon more than it did in the past. But Pittman is the guy who has breakout potential. T.Y. Hilton, we're hoping for a bounce back. We hope he's a sleeper. Pittman still could be a good top 24 wide receiver if he can push Hilton into that number 2 role. I'm just not sure he's going to.
And, you know, for whatever it's worth, they're going to get Paris Campbell more involved in the passing game. They still have Nyheim Hines, and whatever they do with the other 2 running backs, he's going to be involved. The tight ends are going to get something. I think Hilton showed you something last year at the end of the season when Phillip Rivers came on. Pittman showed us something in the playoff game against Buffalo when he was their best receiver, so hopefully that carries over. But we got to have a healthy Carson Wentz, and we got to have certainly a healthy offensive line. Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly battling injuries, also currently on the reserve COVID-19 list. So hopefully everybody is back for week 1 and ready to go for the Colts. All right, here's the updated scoreboard. As you see here, Dave won today's matchup.
Holy moly.
To tie everything. So overall score, individual games, we're at 12-12, and the series is now tied at 2-1.
We've got more of this next week, right?
We'll have one more week, maybe a couple of matchups of ADP prices right. Maybe we'll find a way to move this into the regular season somehow as well. We know once we get to the regular season, we switch to our other game where Heath takes on Pete Prisco in Name That Player. But for now, the ADP prices right standings, all even across the board.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.